Welcome to the official Budhole Podcast, bringing you movies, video games, and randomness in between. Now bringing your hosts, Scott, the Great Brandino, GAGEsRAGE, and Star Lamar.
We're just going to let this groove happen for a little bit while we lead this in here. Welcome, everybody, to the official Budhole Podcast. This is episode number 159.
No one thought we'd be here.
Nobody, but guess what?
159.
Here we are. In this episode, we have a different Brandon in the studio because the Great Brandino's in contract disputes, as well as Gage. Welcome, the other Brandon.
Thank you.
When I listened at the beginning there to Gage's voice, what do you think people who have never met Gage think Gage looks like?
Oh,
probably what he looks like.
Do you think they can pin? I mean, he looks unique.
No, because the first time that I ever met Gage was the day that our dynasty draft, the first draft. Scotty says, I have a buddy that's going to be in our dynasty league. He's perfect for it. So me, my brother, I think his brother, and another guy are sitting there in the garage. We got everything set up. 11 out of the 12 people we know. Gage is the only one. Car pulls up that we don't know. Guy gets out. Big curly freaking mullet. Shady little mustache. And he's like, hey guys, you know Scott? And I was like, who is this guy? I still didn't know who he was. He's like, I'm Gage Scott's friend. I'm going to be in the league. I was like, what bridge did you crawl out of? Like, I mean, but then you get to meet him, and I mean, he's just a character. I mean, and now when you see him, like, if you saw him without that mullet, he'd look weird.
It's turning to a skullet by the day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, by the second.
Yeah.
I text Scotty. Scotty wasn't there yet. And I go, your friend Gage is a character. And he goes, oh, he made it there before me? I was hoping I'd make it there before him so I could introduce you to him. And I was like, oh, no, we just, we got introduced to Gage. That's why I think nobody...
People can't picture him when they hear the voice.
No.
I don't know.
I think the voice matches, though.
I do, too.
But I also met him and talked to him. I didn't just hear his voice.
I feel like the same way. I feel like when you hear that voice, especially with that groove, and you think, okay, what does this kid look like? I could see it looking. I could see he looks like he does, but I could be wrong because I obviously know what he looks like. I've hung around him way too much.
We'll put.
He's polluted my brain with way too many conspiracy theories.
We'll put it on the website. You guys can go check it out.
Oh, it's
all
on
our international listeners. You can see what he looks like.
See
if the voice matches, and don't be too mean to him, please, because he's got it hard enough.
He's sensitive.
He walked into a wall with a boner and broke his nose.
And that's why he's not here, actually.
Yeah,
he's laid up for a bit.
Yeah, partially fragile ego, and obviously when you have a fragile ego and something that dramatic happens to you, it takes you a little while to get over it. But then, secondly, the broken nose obviously sucks too. So. Oh, GAGEsRAGE.
I think you guys just sit back one night and give him a 12-pack of ciders and just let him go off on conspiracy theories.
We kind of do on the Budhole After Dark.
Just sit back, turn your microphones off, and just let him go. Kind of Alex Jones style. Just let him go off on tangents.
could be fun.
I think it would be real, and you might not be able to put him out. But I think for your self-entertainment...
This is part 1 of 10 from one night.
Yeah.
And we don't endorse any of this, but here it is. This is one of those where, well, this is what people are saying. We can't verify it, but here it is. We'll let you decide.
We found it on a dark corner of the internet, so it must be true.
Gage is really the reason why the Budhole After Dark and the conspiracy side of this is even a thing. Without him, I like certain conspiracy theories, like Bigfoot, aliens, the ones that are well documented as being a real thing. Bigfoot's obviously real. Yep. Aliens are clearly a real thing. Some of the shit Gage gets into, though, you really got to dig for the truth. You eventually get there, but you really got to dig for it.
Sometimes not so hard.
Right.
He's into the conspiracies. You're into serial killers. Do you think that's what drew you guys together?
Honestly, probably. I could see it. It was kind of one of those sort of love at first sight. When the first time,
And that's saying a lot if you ever see Gage.
right? The first time I met Gage, he's in.
Wait a
Obviously,
minute. Gage
it's-
didn't go to Watertown?
No, he went to Anoka.
Oh, I didn't know that. I
went
thought
to-
Gage went to high school with you guys.
No, we met him in college. He was Brandon's roommate.
Oh, okay.
And that's how we met him. And I think they told the story on last week's bit, them meeting.
See, I haven't.
Brandon's
listened to
all
last
hammered.
week's.
Okay, so basically them meeting, really short, because most people have listened to it. Brandon and I, our first night at NDSU, we get super hammered drunk. Brandon goes back to his dorm room, and the doors in the dorm rooms are super heavy and super tall. Brandon didn't really click with him. He's hammered drunk. Fucking slams the door shut, scares the shit out of Gage because Gage is sleeping. So Gage, like, all scared, like, wakes up and he's like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" Brandon's like, "Oh, hey, I'm Brandon. I'm your roommate." And Gage is like, "Oh, hey, I'm Gage." That's how they
It
met.
was love at first sight.
But the first time that I met Gage, I'm all hammered and walk into Brandon's room, and Gage is sitting on his computer listening to Taylor Swift playing League of Legends. And I'm like, this is a guy I could definitely get down with.
Does that say that he is any more lonely in life than sitting on a computer playing League of Legends, listening to Taylor Swift in a dorm room?
I don't know. I don't know what it says about him, but he's grown a lot as a person since then. I mean, now he sits to pee. Yeah, I mean, that's... I don't remember... Star, your first time meeting Gage, was there anything... I'm trying to think when it would
I don't know if I can put it together. It was probably a draft.
Probably.
One of our yearly drafts.
Was it? No, it probably wouldn't have been the cabin over the 4th.
No,
Or a party or anything.
I don't think so. It'll come to me in a dream. I'm sure it was super memorable.
He is one
Yeah,
of
it
those
must
guys where when you meet him, you remember him.
Oh, I'll always remember the first time I watched Gage get out of his car.
Like, who the fuck?
I thought somebody had the wrong house for sure.
This podcast is just an ode to Gage.
Yep.
Yes, this is the Gage's Rage podcast without him being here to talk about it, so we can really just go wherever we want with it.
He holds us back. He needs to let us be free. He's too structured.
Yeah, he's definitely the issue there.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, fuck you guys. I step away for 1 week. You guys are an absolute fucking disaster. And I just thought I was stating the obvious, letting you guys know how much of a mess you are as a podcast without me. Because when I'm here, it's clearly well put together. There's definitely no accidental buttons hit or anything like that, or long pauses because I'm hunting for the right button.
And you remember to jerk off every time, right?
Except for the last episode, yeah. But when I'm away, God, you guys are just a mess. All of you.
Yeah, see, I haven't gotten to listen to last week's episode, so I didn't hear.
They're fine.
No, last week was actually... The first week was more of a mess, but last week was good. The thing is, Brandon puts a lot of time into the fantasy parts of things. And so you got to give him the floor to get that. The first time that he decided, okay, let's get a lot more into the fantasy, which was around episode 150. I think we had over a 90-minute episode of him. It was just him, Gage, and I. You were gone for some reason. And it was mostly just him going down his list of notes, reading every single note on every single player from every single game. And after that podcast, Gage and I were like, dude, like, good work, but we got to find a way to trim this down. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I remember listening to that one.
And
It just got long-winded, and I was like, man, he did a really good job of analyzing, but that must have taken a lot of work.
I know every wide receiver that had at least one catch this week.
like, you know, when you're just listening to it and you get tired of listening to it, it's because it's like a marathon. I was tired of doing the podcast because I was just, my ears hurt.
And that's saying a lot for you saying that about listening to fantasy stuff, because I know how much you dive into fantasy stuff.
I listen to like 3 to 4 hours of fantasy content a day.
Yeah.
And you're still last place in the league.
No, I'm not. I'm climbing. I'm trending up. All it took was screwing over one weakling, and now I'm trending up.
Are you in the league with like the punishment league?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the league. The friends league.
You're
with
in
the
last
punishment.
place this year?
No, I'm not.
Brandon is.
Brandon is.
What's the
Right.
punishment this year?
There's been like 3 thrown out.
None of them have been focused on. Okay, so the 3 options are: one is a naked photo shoot for every day of every month of the year, right? Calendar year.
We had
And you have to give the calendar to your friend?
Yes.
Everybody in the league?
Yes.
get a petition signed We didn't have the number of signatures, but we get to write whatever the petition is for. So they have to go door to door and try to get signatures on a petition that we get to write.
I would probably put that number at 50 signatures. That seems like a decent number. That would be a whole town.
But people got friends. I want them to actually have to get strangers. A night out at the bar.
But even with
just
friends,
campaigning.
you have to go meet 50 friends to get them to physically sign.
Although the thing with that would be, if it's anybody's signature in that somebody in the league knows, it doesn't count. Because we're all close enough friends. And then the other one was, what was it? You had to go to the store for a 5-day week, so a work week, every day after work, and you had to go buy condoms, lube, and a cucumber.
Or any gourd of that shape.
Yeah.
You could switch it up.
Every single day for 5 days
you
straight. And
imagine-
going down the same checkout lane.
You can't use self-checkout.
No,
absolutely not.
Could you imagine the look that lady, like...
Oh, back
you see
again.
You see it one day, and you're like...
They already told everyone they know.
You're like-
this guy came in by a
Yeah, you're
cucumber, Vaseline, and a box of condoms.
Yeah.
And then he come back. It's back on Tuesday.
for a whole week. And like that lady, like first day, you're like, man, that was a weird fucking guy that came through. Got a condom, some lube, and a gourd. And then like you're like, man, I'm never gonna see that again. Then next day, freaking 5:30, here comes the next guy coming and get the same 3 deals. Like, and you gotta be thinking, like, why wouldn't you just go to the self checkout? Like,
The only thing that's a bummer is people wearing masks.
oh yeah.
They get a little bit of privacy from
That
it.
was actually thrown out before that, I think, as an option, before the mask mandate. Imagine a guy like, for instance, Gage, though, come walking down.
Oh man.
He already kind of looks like Ron Jeremy.
Yeah.
Now, in Gage's defense, I don't mean to name drop him, because any one of us in the league doing that,
It's hilarious.
yeah. Because, I mean, we all look like we could possibly be pedophiles.
Like you
Speak for yourself.
Like you got a record.
Yeah. But Gage doing it would just be next level. It won't be him, though. He's got a good team this year.
Now, would you guys follow him in there and watch him?
No, I don't. I
Or
wouldn't.
how are you going
You'd
to...
have. I think the receipt would have to be provided
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you could just go in there one time, do it. and
with
just-
date and time stamp.
Oh, yeah. Take a picture with the cashier.
Just the money wasted alone would be ridiculous. Let alone the humiliation. I kind of
It'd
want
be
it to
like
be that one.
$100
Oh, yeah.
for the week.
Oh,
of
yeah.
condoms, lube, and bananas, gourds, cucumbers.
I
solid
think
solid order of produce.
I think the one stipulation should be, though, that you'd have to precipitously step the gourd or watermelon. off.
Slowly get bigger.
Holy shit, that's a pumpkin.
Yeah.
By the end of the week, you buy 2 watermelons. They're like, Jesus.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so that's what's been kicked around. Although there has not been anything picked, actually.
And what have you guys done so far besides the tattoo? That's the only one that I know about.
Okay, so the one was the ACT test, which I don't think Jeff ever did.
Apparently, he's still up for it,
Okay, he's still doing it?
but he's not even in the league anymore, so I don't know why he would.
Because he's him, and
Yeah.
he would. The other one was last year that ended up not happening, and that was, I'm trying to remember what it was. But the reason that nothing happened with it was because him and Brandon's other uncle,
Joe.
one of them finished last at the end of the regular season, but the one lost in the playoffs, the losers bracket. And when there was nothing really nailed down which was which. So we cleared the air on that. And now the loser of the regular season has to do the punishment.
I would just make
Loser of the
both.
playoff bracket has to buy a beer for the next draft, is how it's set.
And we were going to keep the tattoo. That was going to be a reoccurring until the
It
person
should have.
who lost again. 2
Which
years in a row, and he said,
The guy
no,
that got
I'm
the
not doing
tattoo
it."
got screwed. He got the short
Yeah.
end of the stick.
But he should have 2 tattoos. Because he lost again the next year, and he said, I'm not doing it again.
Yeah.
And so that's when we're like, all right, you bailed. This is our ticket out of this.
Yeah, so
Because you already did it. All right, we'll change the punishment from tattoo.
It's a blessing in disguise.
But like the list of things could be potentially hilarious. You have to do stand up with jokes written by the other guys.
That would be funny. I actually, on one of the podcasts that I listened to for fantasy football, they were talking punishments early before the season started, and that was one of like the top ones that was getting a lot of like say in there.
You could just make them write it themselves. I think that'd be funny.
It would still be funny. KFAN for their church challenge this year. Shout out to Church. Thanks for coming on the podcast. They're the losers that finish behind the ghost. So they have 5 players to pick from each week. Mm-hmm. They all get the top 4, and then the last one not picked goes to the ghost. If you finish behind the ghost, you have to go up on a billboard in the Twin Cities area. That's an STD billboard.
You have to like put your face on it?
Yes, STD awareness.
Oh, man.
They got a little bigger budget than we do.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious. But
They are hoping that Meat Sauce comes in last place.
Oh, for sure. He will. I don't know what would be more funny. It being 2 of them, like, hugging each other or whatever, or just the one picture of the one of them. Nonetheless, I don't know how much it costs for a billboard, but that would be hilarious. Maybe someday when we're all stupid rich from the Budhole, we'll just finance it ourselves.
Any minute now.
Slap a little butthole watermark on the corner.
And you got that dog face guy skateboarded and made a video.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? That dude's got like insane amount of followers now, just racking it in.
You got a free house.
We just need these types of videos. One of them. All
One
we need
viral
is one,
thing.
and we're good.
I think we should create video content. I think we could make a lot of money if we just did a day in the life of Gage's Rage.
Oh, absolutely. So, like, all you need is one video to freaking go. On one of the podcasts that I listened to, they had a TikTok star on there this last week. And he was saying, he's like, I'll make 40, 50 videos a day. He's like, they may only get a couple thousand views, but he's like, you make one of them that's going to get 400,000 views. He's like, that's all you need. He's like, you just need one of those every other, couple days. And he's like, you can freaking make plenty of money off doing it. He's like,
the next thing you know, you're monetized and boom.
Yeah.
I knew I should have been a TikTok star. This is my calling.
No, your calling was to be on the Budhole.
OnlyFans?
Do not search Star Lamar OnlyFans. God, way to blow my spot, Brandon. That was just a little niche market. Now I got to change my name. Fuck.
It was a nice little side hustle. I didn't need it going viral, and now it's going to go viral.
It was my own dumbass fault for using my same name on that as I do on here. But I just thought, it's catchy.
Well, let's remember, though, in
Gets
episode
the
1...
people going.
In episode 1 of the Budhole podcast, you did panic a little when we introduced you and asked you your name. You panicked a little, and you picked your OnlyFans name, and now here we are. Your OnlyFans fucking coverage is blown, and now you're going to have to change it.
We'll see how many subs I get.
Yeah, maybe I'll blow you up.
Yeah, maybe this was the break I needed.
Yeah.
I don't think I know a single person in the world that wouldn't pay $6.9 per day for Star Lamar's OnlyFans.
All I do on it is I play Mario Kart and I eat chicken nuggets and Dr. Pepper, and I just practice for the next eating contest.
You know that there is some people that just floats their boat that would be subscribing to you. You'd have a couple thousand subscribers because with all the billions of people in the world, I guarantee you there is a couple thousand people that would just freaking...
We don't kink shame here at the Budhole.
Oh, no.
Do you ever just flash pictures of your bare feet?
Oh, feet's where the money's at.
Yeah.
I got little holders on either side of it. It's kind of like the camera's point of view. I don't know, it's weird. Check it out. Star Lamar OnlyFans. It's hard to describe.
Oh, Christ. Well, when I was self-quarantining, and I never got COVID, okay? Don't worry about that. I didn't get COVID. But when I was self-quarantining, the wife and I actually ended up watching all 8 Harry Potter movies on Saturday and Sunday. So we watched 22 hours of Harry Potter over a 2-day stretch.
I judged you when you first told me about this. I'm judging you more.
Yeah.
You did it on a Sunday?
A Saturday and then into a Sunday, yeah.
There's important shit on Sunday.
Oh, I know.
That I feel like should have been higher on your list than watching Hermione.
This is what I'll say about it. We started it on Saturday, and I had seen 6 of the 8 movies. I had seen the Deathly Hallows Part 2, and then I had seen, obviously, the first 4 or whatever, and then one in the middle somewhere. But we started on it, and I think we got through 5 or 6 movies on Saturday. So we got through like 3/4 of it. So we only had it was like 5 hours to watch on Sunday.
Ton of time to watch your pick for Budhole movie, I'm sure.
I watched my pick for Butthole movie.
No, he watched it 5 years ago.
No, I did not watch it 5 years ago. We'll get
Back
into
on
this
that.
because I got a beef with you fuckers. All of you. You know what? I'm gonna start just playing into the bit. I'm gonna just not watch them.
You don't have to plan. I'm just going to start being honest. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, basically.
All right. Go for it.
I watched the movies, and you guys don't like my reviews because, quite honestly, they're just better than yours.
All right. I believe that you watched Harry Potter's.
But you don't believe that I watched
Top
As
3,
Above, So
power
Below?
ranked top 3 witches. Not in power or anything, but in
Just my top 3 favorite?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying. Top 3. We'll start at 3.
I can't do the names.
Bellatrix. All right, Bellatrix Lestrange
Okay.
is at 3. Who's your number 2? He's mouthing Ginny Weasley.
Yeah, okay.
He's
that's
mouthing
number 2.
Ginny Weasley.
That's fair. That's number 2.
Number 1. Really?
Yeah.
He just said Dolores Umbridge. I don't even know who that is.
Well, everybody's into different things, Star, okay?
Apparently. Which one's she in?
The one about the things.
Where they're at school.
All right, like I said earlier, no kink shaming. You
No.
like Dolores Umbridge.
The one thing I did realize is that, and I never had the level of respect for him, but Voldemort is like an all-time bad fucking guy. Like all-timer for a badass.
You think?
Oh, yeah. He's top. Villains in like, what would you call the universe? Right? So you got like the Game of Thrones universe. You got the Lord of the Rings universe. Voldemort's like top 3. Star Wars universe. He's like top 3 in my opinion. He's a badass. But yeah, the movies are super good. The thing I like about the Harry Potter series is how the series seems to age with what their fan base aged with. So like the first movie is more built for like the 10-year-olds, the 12-year-olds. But as you ramp up, they get precipitously darker and darker. And then by the end, obviously, they were made in like a 9-year window, I want to say. By the end, those kids that were watching them as 12-year-olds are now 20. And the last 2 movies of the series are very dark.
So they kind of grow with the people that are watching them.
Yeah.
Like the age group that they're intended for.
Yeah, that initial age base, when they first came out with the movies, you could see the line of progression there.
You had nothing better to do on a Saturday than watch.
Oh no, I would say there's lots of quote unquote better things to do. But the wife wanted to watch Harry Potter, and I hadn't seen all of them, and I hadn't seen a lot of them for a while, so I was like, screw it, let's fucking do it.
Did you watch it on HBO Max?
No, I don't have HBO Max, so we ended up just renting them all on Amazon for like $3 each.
You could have paid for a month of HBO Max and then watched Lovecraft Country or
I
something.
didn't know that all the Harry Potters were on there. Okay. The other one that they were on is, what's the movie service you have? Or you've used before?
For what?
For watching movies.
Peacock?
Yeah, Peacock. You can get them on Peacock too, but I don't have a Peacock account. So I just was like, screw it. We'll just do it on Amazon. Rent them as we go. Yeah, so I did that and then started watching Haunting of Bly Manor. I think we're like 4 episodes in. I like it so far, but it's way different than Haunting of Hill House. Haunting of Hill House was legitimately like jump scares and scary. This is more just kind of like, I think I like the story so far better, but it's not as like scary.
I was going to start that.
It's good. It's good, but it's definitely different. I'm trying to think what else. Obviously, watched As Above, So Below. Have not watched Borat 2 yet, although we did watch Borat 1 the week before As Above, So Below. We watched on a Saturday night, I want to say.
I've heard a lot of mixed things about the Borat 2.
Borat 2.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to like it. I liked the first movie.
I think if you like the first movie, you're going to like the second movie because from what I've heard, it's the same stupid style humor that he does. I mean, he baits people into the pranks.
And from my understanding, too, reading like the lawsuits and stuff that all came from it, is it's not falling for pranks like it seems like in the movie. They think that they're there to do a certain job.
Yeah.
So like they're under contract to teach him this. Like we're bringing him in. We want you to teach him about honesty or something like that. So it's not like they're actually like believing everything he's saying, but they think they're an actor basically in a documentary series. That's why it seems really awkward, and they're not just saying whatever the hell they want to say, and they're listening to him.
Yeah, because I think the big thing coming out of that was the whole Giuliani thing with Borat's supposed
Yeah.
daughter in the movie or whatever. Which I've heard a lot of people discuss it, and you've heard people take it different ways. But
Yeah.
I mean,
And that one was a dupe.
yeah,
That was a complete. He thought he was getting interviewed by
that's what I heard.
a news station and stuff like that.
How many times, though, if you're Borat, do you get a political figure like Rudy Giuliani in a position like that where you have a shot of potentially catching that on camera? Whether there was intent there or not with Giuliani. The fact that he was in the room with Borat's daughter, who was, from my understanding, and I haven't seen the movie, Giuliani knew she was underage.
No,
No,
He did
didn't.
not know.
no, I don't
Okay.
think anyone in the movie knew because she
Okay.
was supposed to be 15, but
Nobody knew.
yeah, they're going
okay.
to like get breast implants and do all that stuff, and no, not one person mentions age.
Okay.
Yeah, from what
So
I got,
then
she was a reporter that was asking him questions, and that was
all he knew about
You
it.
think
basis
if somebody's
of it,
getting a
yeah.
report, or if somebody's going to ask you questions in an interview, you automatically assume that they're
Oh,
over 18. Yeah,
especially
or
when
underage.
you're him.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
the thing is, too, like when you're him, it's not ridiculous to think that somebody would want to interview you,
Yeah.
especially if you're a young, up and coming, trying to be an up and coming political reporter. Giuliani would be a big get for anybody.
Absolutely.
But so
See if
then,
we can get him on the butthole.
Rudy Giuliani, I don't
Yeah,
know
do
that I
your
really
work.
want to. I
I
don't.
think
I don't know
after-
what I would ask
I
him.
think after Borat duped him, I don't think he's going on anything.
We could get him in. I bet you we could get him to buy into adrenochrome, and the Clintons being in on it. I bet we could get him into that.
Might.
Next thing you know, he'd be talking about it on teleprompter. But yeah, so basically, the Colbert had Sacha Baron Cohen on when the movie dropped. Obviously, he made his media runs to talk about the movie, whatever. And he says he actually was in that, like, they built that little closet that he was hiding in that room, and he was in there for like 8 hours, I want to say. But when he went in there, they're like, they got this opportunity to possibly get Giuliani for whatever, you know. If you're Sacha Baron Cohen, you're an absolute troll. That's what you do.
Absolutely.
So he gets into the closet. His help, the whatever camera crew, whatever. The guy hands him the cell phone. The cell phone has like 8% battery left. So he's sitting in there like turning it off and like every now and then turning it on to check it. He's like, we have possibly the biggest get we've ever had, and the thing that's going to screw us is the cell phone. But he ended up, it all worked out. He jumped out at the right time. It's the biggest clip I think most people know about from the movie. One thing I've been hearing a lot of though is, and this is not the movie review. None of us have seen it yet.
There'll be more on that. Well, I've seen it, but
Have you seen it? Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying though that Borat's daughter, the actress that plays her, absolutely knocked it out of the park,
yeah,
and that she could be up for a potential award for it.
Really?
Yeah. He also talked about the process of getting somebody to play that role and how difficult it was and how many people they interviewed. Sacha Baron Cohen talked about it. And basically he said they went through over 300 people interviewing them all. She kind of came out of nowhere, like I'm sure anybody would, but like he just knew right away when she interviewed for it. And then Colbert asked him, like, how does a process like that even go? And Sacha Baron Cohen's like, they come in, you talk to them for a little bit. If you think they have a real shot at it, you just give them this scenario where they have to go convince somebody, whatever. And I can't remember off the top of my head what her situation was that she had to convince somebody of, but like she went right along with it. It went good, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to watch the movie.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see that because I mean that first one was good, but so back when that first one came out, though, times were different. Comedy was in a different space, you know.
Way different.
Yeah, now you say the wrong thing in a comedy, you do a stand-up, a 20-minute show, but you say the wrong thing,
It's
that's your
over.
career.
Cancel culture.
That's why I'm surprised he's still trying to keep Borat going.
Well, the other thing for him too now though is it's more difficult for him to hide in a crowd.
Absolutely, he's noticeable.
Yeah.
Borat, especially with like our age group, if you see Borat, you know who Borat is.
Yeah.
There's a bit in the movie
About that? Okay.
yeah.
But like he did Ali G for the longest time after
G was
Borat,
great.
where he would dress up in different characters and have to get people like the one bit about the Republican senator from I think Georgia that he's trying to teach him how to wrestle or whatever. Or what's he? Oh, I'm trying to remember the Ali G bit about it. Basically, he convinces him. I'm trying to remember exactly how it goes. I probably shouldn't talk about it because I don't really know, and I'm going to get myself into trouble. I don't really care that much. Basically, he's trying to rid him of his sins, but he convinces him that to do that, they have to wrestle, and Ali G has to be naked. But the guy has to like stay away from him, basically. So Ali G's like naked, trying to like run up and grab him, and the guy's like skeeting around this ring. It's just so stupid.
How crazy! I think it's the craziest part about his whole gig is that how convincing he is to people. Like he could sell ice to a penguin, basically.
Oh yeah,
like, that guy can convince anybody to do anything by the way it looks.
oh yeah.
He's got a hot wife too,
In the movie?
Isla Fisher. No,
In real life.
The redhead from Wedding Crashers.
Oh really?
And Now You See Me. I
Really?
think she's in that one too.
Wait, is she the stage 5 clinger in Wedding Crashers?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know that they were married. That's cool. Yeah, so that's kind of been my last 2 weeks when I've been out. Watched, what was the other movie? As Above, So Below. Oh, Borat 2 got announced. Movie reviews. I was talking to Star before the podcast kicked off. The As Above, So Below movie review. I recognize that I raised the overall score on it. Really quick to clear the air. I did accidentally. I wouldn't say accidentally, but I didn't really think about the 8.5. I wouldn't necessarily say. When everybody's back together, I think I'm going to ask for a mulligan on that, and I can rescore it. I don't know if everybody
Was not
will
your
be.
second favorite movie we've ever done?
No, what I did was I messaged it over to the great Brandino really quick before the podcast, and I didn't really think about it in the scope of all of the movies we've watched. I thought it more along the lines of like horror movies that I've watched, and it is legitimately one of my favorite horror movies. I thought it was good. Now, the horror movie genre has a lot of holes and stuff in them, as this movie has some too. I'm not blind to the fact that there's stuff in this movie that's not perfect, but yeah, so I would like to change it to, I'll bring it up to the group, but I'm going to try and change it to a 7.1, not an 8.5.
We'll see if they accept it. And if they don't, there's a chance that we don't involve you in future movie reviews. But, I mean, we'll just cross that bridge when we get there, Scott.
How much higher were you than everybody else?
Everybody was around like 6,
Like low 6s.
and then there's me 8.5.
Jeez.
But even a 7.1 would be the highest.
Yeah.
That's a big difference in a movie review.
Well, Hubie Halloween was a big difference too, though. I was quite high on Hubie Halloween, and those three were like 6s as well.
Did you listen to the last podcast where I told you what a coworker who listens to our podcast said about you?
No.
Says, why does Scott always fuck shit up after listening to your Hubie Halloween review?
Yeah, I heard that, but I wanted to let you say it again.
The worst review critic of them all, huh, Scott?
Overall, the butthole is pretty accurate, though.
I didn't say the butthole, I said you.
No, what I'm saying is... without me, the butthole... People would think that the butthole is a lot more critical without me. With me there, people are like, oh, these guys maybe have a little bit of a heart, which is
then they
ironic.
watch Hubie Halloween, they're like, why does Scott always fuck shit up?
Yeah, that's fair.
You start the Mando yet?
No.
No.
I wanted to start it. I wanted to start it right away, but then I forgot that they drop it on Disney in weekly drops.
Yeah. Every Friday.
I kind of forgot that because I waited until in the first season of The Mandalorian, I waited till they all dropped and then I just binge watched them all. So I kind of forgot that. So I think I might let it drop in like 3 episode drops and just watch like 3 at a time. Have you started it?
I did. I got a little bit of beef with it.
Do you?
It's not going to be a spoiler or anything, but first season was very episodic. There's a new story each episode.
Yep.
It wasn't one continuous story. And I thought, oh, they're just getting people into it, and second season will start and tell one big story. Same thing. You can almost skip them and still understand what's going on.
Oh,
but
really?
So if you
Yeah,
miss
it's
an
just-
episode, it's not going to make a
yeah,
difference.
the adventure of the day, basically, like you're watching a CSI episode. But maybe eventually it'll become more like a Game of Thrones, one continuous story. But
It kind of seems to be their MO with The Mandalorian. It's not. The only really continuous story from the first season was the story with him and Baby Yoda.
yeah, and that's still there. But
But everything else is just, here we
it's like,
are
oh,
today.
Yeah, now we're on this planet, and these people are in trouble, and we're going to help them.
So you've only watched, did you watch the second episode then, or just the first?
I started the second one, I haven't finished it.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I'll get there. Finish The Boys.
Nice. I
Season
haven't
2.
started that at all yet.
It's good. It's pretty graphic. I think I prefer Umbrella Academy to The Boys,
Do you?
just based off of how fast I watched each season. Both of them are great. I think that's basically it for TV shows for me. Lovecraft Country was okay.
What's that new one on Netflix that everybody's talking about?
Queen's Gambit?
Yes, Queen's Gambit. Have you watched it?
No, it doesn't really
Is it a show or a
pique
movie?
my interest. It's a show
Show.
about chess. I think it's a true story. Are we talking about the same show?
That's what we're talking about.
No.
I remember reading the thing, the description, and I was like, it's about chess? Like, I'm not interested. But I've heard like 4 people talk about how they started it and they couldn't stop watching it.
Must have a good storyline.
It has to.
I think it's a true story.
Okay. I kind of want to check it out, but I haven't watched the Umbrella Academy either. That's like towards the top of my list to watch.
I heard that's very good.
Yeah.
If you guys have any suggestions at home of shows that we'll talk about and never watch, please send them to our email.
At officialbutthole@gmail.com. Officialbutthole@gmail.com. The PlayStation 5 drops on Thursday. I actually have Thursday afternoon off of work and Friday as well. So whenever I see on my Ring security camera the FedEx or UPS driver walk up to drop off a big box at the front door, I'm going to boogie the hell out of work, get home, and it takes usually 10 minutes to get home, but I think I'll do it in 5. And then PlayStation 5 time, baby. I'll have a review for next
Time
Monday.
is spoken for.
Yeah.
What do you think are the chances I can walk into a Target at lunch on Thursday and get one?
0. If you get there right when the doors open, though, they will have some in stock right away.
What if the state gets shut down again tomorrow?
They're still going to have some. That's
But
what they
there's
said.
not going to be lines.
It's going to make it easier.
No.
Yeah, Sony said they're going to have... The PlayStation 4, that's what I did. The day it came out, I was going to school down in the cities. On my way to school, I stopped because I started school at 7:30. Target opened at 7. So I stopped on my way down. I got in line at like 6:45. I was the 6th one in line, and they had like 10 consoles. So I got the 6th one. They had the games and the controllers all set right there. So I got an extra controller. I got like 3 games. Went to school, came home, boom, had the PlayStation 4.
See, with something like that, does each Walmart, Target, or whatever vendor, do they only get, say, 10 of them?
Yeah,
like
they only get so many. And it's based on, per se, like the one in Buffalo would get 6. The one in Minnetonka would get 12.
It'd be based on yearly sales or whatever.
Yep. But Sony came out and said Xbox did the same, Microsoft with the new Xbox. There will be consoles available day of at all stores. All of them that they sell them at, obviously.
It's got to be there.
So if you get in line, you'll get one if you get in line. But yeah, I pre-ordered mine, so hopefully mine's actually here Thursday, which I haven't got a shipping confirmation yet, so I'm getting a little nervous.
Ooh,
Yeah,
what a letdown
that would
be.
piss me off.
Get work off and everything.
Yeah,
You could watch Harry Potter or something.
Yeah.
I could watch Star Wars. Next one is Star Wars, to watch all the Star Wars in order.
The new ones?
Over
or
a
the old
weekend.
ones?
All 9, 10, 11 of them. What is there, 11 of them?
In
Including
what order?
in the actual order of the universe.
Episodes?
Yes.
Are you even going to watch, like, Jar Jar Binks Star Wars?
Yeah, the old ones.
That
The
was-
70s
That
ones.
was when they were saying that it was trash.
Yeah.
I think it's 11 when you include Rogue One and Solo.
It is 11. But it's 12 if you want to include the Clone Wars, which is,
The cartoon one?
yeah,
I wouldn't include that.
I'm not either.
I've actually never seen it, so
I've
might
heard
be
it's
biased.
good, actually.
I've heard the show is good.
Star Wars fans like the Clone Wars TV show, animated. Yeah, that's about all I really have for this podcast. I don't know what you guys got. If we got nothing else, we can do the sign off, which I won't forget this time. And we'll get on.
I got nothing else. I'm going to come play your PlayStation. Maybe
Yeah,
steal it.
perfect.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I'm going to set up my own camera, and I'm 4 minutes away,
Yes.
and I'm going to come steal your ass package.
hack into mine.
Go jerk off.
Check out our website, www.officialbutthole.com. We're on all socials at officialbutthole. Please leave us a rating and review on Apple Music, and we'll see you next time.